I don't have a job yet. This is the biggest misconception that I hear constantly from people who are thinking about their post-college employment or even summer employment. I'm coming into the spring and I don't have a job yet. Well, I'm gonna give you some information that shows you you're not alone if you don't have that job yet. There's kind of this fallacy that everyone has their job lined up in the spring before they go on for their summer internships or before they go off and leave the college confines and start the working world. Turns out that's not true. 79% of people don't have a job at graduation from college. 79%. Now I know that seems sort of crazy. Maybe you might think that's different, but a lot of times what happens is that employers are hesitant to hire before someone's ready to begin. So you may in your mind be thinking everyone else has a job. Turns out only 21% of people have something lined up at graduation. Now the other part about it is understanding that what those first jobs look like. Many people believe it has to be the perfect job, but you'd be surprised. Many of these first jobs are just that, a first job. In fact, 44% of people in their 20s are underemployed when they start their career. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a failure or something else. It just means that today experience gathering changes differently. So that's the important thing, I think, as you attack your early days. One of the things to understand is don't necessarily look at this first job as success or failure. It's just that, a job. What you do with it matters so much. So what do? Well, think about things a little bit differently. I'll tell you, my first job was a disaster. I was working for a company doing cold calling. I was terrible at it. I had a terrible boss. I was miserable. But I started doing some things differently. I started reaching out. I spent a lot of time. It took me about 9 months, but over those 9 months, I was able to find something much better, find a boss who really fit with me named Dan, and that helped me change my early career. So don't give up hope. If you're in that confines of coming out of that first job and it doesn't feel like it's the right fit, you don't have it lined up, you're gonna have to be a little bit patient. Again, almost 80% of people don't have a job lined up at graduation. If you're looking for something for the summer, don't be surprised if it takes you a little bit longer. Life is not as clean as everyone has a job these days or everyone has something lined up beforehand. So be patient, be thoughtful, and most importantly, be different. It's gonna take you some work to get the exact job you want. It's gonna be a step and it's gonna be a path. You're gonna have multiple careers and multiple jobs that you move through, but the more important thing, do you own it, and are you creating ways to make sure that you stand out when you send out that resume?